Let's talk about tattoos and why women can sometimes be so obsessed with them. And I don't mean small, hidden tattoos hidden around the body. I'm talking about the ones that cover the entire legs, hands, necks, faces, and sleeves. We've all noticed how women have begun tattooing themselves more frequently over the past few years. Personally, I think it's disgusting, depressing, and unattractive. I opt not to speak to or even acknowledge such women. I see it as a very conformist subculture that is quickly assimilating into popular culture. Why didn't we see any women doing this, say, in the 1960s, if these women were actually expressing their distinct identities on their skin? They were motivated by a fear of social estrangement, but now people accept it. Many women appear at ease getting tattooed all over. This reveals a lot about them as people. Conformists seek social signs about what is appropriate and inappropriate. Sheep. I imagine that many women think that having limb-length tattoos makes them look edgy, but as I've already mentioned, doing so is not at all edgy. Instead, it's quite depressing. Even educated women of the middle class are getting tattooed, which really just confirms that this is more a culture born out of sheer pressure. In the past, the only people having tattoos and body piercings were sailors, gamblers, mobsters, prostitutes, and other disadvantaged groups in society. In the last 20 years, tattoo culture has only recently begun to spread internationally. I was in my teens and in high school when body piercings first gained popularity. Typically, girls who had belly, tongue, and nose piercings were those who were more influenced by bad boys. According to what I gather, they were acting in this manner because their partners were piercing their ears and eyebrows. I used to think that getting body piercings would make them more desirable to their bad boy boyfriends, because the piercings could be removed at any moment without causing serious harm to their bodies. The piercing culture was tolerated, and their parents allowed them to have them. However, tattoos are a different matter, because they can't be taken off as quickly or inexpensively. My perception is that women today cover themselves with tattoos to attract tattooed males and to play the part of the female social chameleon. This acts as a type of mating call. That's all there is to it. Or perhaps they do it to blend in with other ladies socially. In some of the restaurants and pubs I frequent, I see tattooed women all the time. For the record, I don't have any tattoos or piercings, and I don't think either is particularly appealing unless it's a complete arm sleeve that is quite tastefully done. Even so, I am aware that they will cause a woman to age badly in a matter of 5 to 10 years, and for me, they are sort of an obsession. One woman who had maybe 50 tattoos drew me in, not because of the ink, but due to her. Every time I discovered a new tattoo, my dissatisfaction grew. She even had one tattooed on her body that said, "I'll have $1 million by the age of 25. Ironically, the tattoo was still there when the age of 25 arrived. Then she revised the narrative, claiming that by the time she was that age, the help and good actions for others she had done throughout her life had totaled more than 10 million. It was entertaining to see her alter her tale. Tattoos have become a nationwide pandemic. The number of body piercings I see has decreased as well. I'll now review a few articles that discuss tattoos and women. The first article is titled Female Attention-Seeking Behavior Against Relationship Stability. Is there a market for relationships among women who have tattoos? So if a lady has a lot of tattoos, it's also a way to flaunt her status in terms of how much money she originally spent on them. She is claiming to be well off enough to spend thousands of dollars on body art. Like when ladies use false nails. According to another article based on women with tattoos, you may enjoy great closeness in bed with women who are 20 or 30 years old and have attractive tattoos, but don't count on them to still look attractive when they are 30 or 40. Because they are often bad at long-term planning, women may not see this as clearly as most men do. This article says that women with tattoos are bad long-term dating prospects since they won't be as appealing later in life and they can be emotionally edgy. As a man going his own way, I'm not interested in long-term partnerships. According to the National Institutes of Health, women who have tattoos are more intimate, establish physical intimacy earlier, and are also more likely to engage in unprotected bed play. The second assertion in the study is that women with tattoos lack foresight since they are more impulsive and inclined to take risks, especially if they are teens. They may be considering how women's bodies may change as they age, and the study also claims that women with tattoos appear to have lower IQ levels. Another argument makes the claim that people with tattoos are hostile and more likely to engage in criminal activity. Psychiatric patients who have tattoos are far more likely to have an antisocial personality disorder, to have previously struggled with physical and drug addiction, and even to have made an attempt at ending their lives. It's difficult to argue against scientific evidence. The three things I just said all indicate people who have problems, which is why in the past sailors, gangsters, and promiscuous women all had tattoos. They were supposedly troubled gangs who decided to tattoo themselves to prove to the world that they were strong. Body alteration may have really served as a mating call for the socially outcast groups in our culture. For men, tattoos made them look more appealing to women and menacing to other men. For the women, it was part of a mating call to tell me that they were open to a physical relationship and were not interested in being part of the formal society. Today, however, women also get tattoos because they're fashionable, and I've actually met a few stylish ladies who sport them. These women are painters, hairstylists, or other creative workers, so you can tell that they have stylish tattoos or patterns on them. People that get tattoos who are aware of good design, in my experience, don't do it on a whim. They frequently perceive them as decorative accents that enhance a particular body part. In the adult film industry, I'm noticing more and more women with tattoos on their wrists and necks, and I predict that trends seen there will ultimately find their way into popular culture. The issue with that, in my opinion, is that many employers won't consider candidates who have obvious tattoos. But I'm already noticing an increase in upmarket restaurants with tattoos being flaunted by the waiting staff and an increasing number of highly tattooed people in high-paying jobs in big cities. Women have always worn garments and accessories to symbolize their youth, physical beauty, and mating potential. And now, tattoos are part of their beautification. This new approach differs from more traditional ones in that it is permanent. The other women were drifters who had no idea what they were doing and didn't even realize that the more color they used in their tattoos, the worse off they would be in the long run. They don't seem to grasp that it is permanent and that no matter how much money they spend on costly lasers to attempt to erase them, the outline will always be there. The days when women could artfully place their tattoos on their ankles, lower backs, or other areas where the sun doesn't shine are long gone. One of the women I had a brief relationship with had a tattoo covering the back of her neck. She probably wasn't considering the possibility that when she chopped her hair short like all the other ladies, someone behind her might be staring back at her with a cute or not so cute face. I think women used to be more refined when they were sort of watched after by the males in their lives. Fathers would pass their daughters off to their husbands when they were basically in their early 20s, and they didn't go to college or to Europe to find themselves and get their complimentary tattoo stamps. Instead, they used to become mothers and raise their children from an early age, giving them more time to be nurturing mothers and bonding with their children. And if they didn't get married early, they would be socially alienated. Everything that was formerly thought of as a fringe activity is now becoming mainstream. This includes gambling, adultery, tattoos, and body piercings. All of these concepts are gaining popularity. While earlier generations were aware that once a society starts to tolerate the undesirable, it starts to decline. I haven't even mentioned the immense negative health repercussions of having tattoos, which range from allergic skin responses to increased cancer risk. Red ink is reportedly the most hazardous ink in the United States. Although it doesn't control tattoo ink, the Food and Drug Administration does oversee items like vitamins and dietary supplements. You don't know what you're putting into your body while getting a tattoo nowadays, since so many people use cheap Chinese ink. As I previously stated, I only find someone with tattoos attractive if they are truly tastefully done and if they are potential romantic partners. The effects of tattoo chemicals on the human body couldn't be studied in the past since people didn't live as long as they do now because there weren't enough promiscuous women and criminals. Fundamentally, ink includes mercury sulfide, which is dangerous. Tattoo inks are proven to cause cancer. Hence, there should be a warning sign posted outside of every single tattoo business in existence that says tattoos cause cancer and are injurious to health. There are no explanations or studies for why we put ink in our bodies. The government just ignores the issue since those businesses generate tax income for the government. Besides, the tattoo industry in the United States is worth over $2 billion. Yet the FDA is just now starting to look at how tattoo ink is metabolized within the body. Hope you guys understand the reasons why women get tattoos and how dangerous they are for the human body, what it shows about those women, and how they're thought of by people in society. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe